about myself and like what I like to do on the weekends, and I talk about my family, which is very important to me. Next, I'm going to show you my InTASK Principle 6. And as we know from Dr. Stevie's class that this is very important because it relates to the assessment unit. As you can see, I have included different reflections that relate to InTASK 6. One of these assessments is a PowerPoint that I made, and I can click on it and show you that. And then that links to my Pedro Nogueira reflection and my EdSec 393 learning objectives, as well as other classes that I've taken at Ball State. Now we'll move on to my artifacts and rationales for EdSec 393. On this page, I talk about my philosophy of assessment. The one thing that stood out to me the most was that the teacher needs to know how to evaluate and report learner progress against standards. And what this means is that teachers need to make sure that the standards are being met. Standards can be met doing different activities in class or can be done by taking an exam. And I thought this was interesting because in other InTASK standards, we talk about different ways students can learn things, and being able to assess our children is becoming more and more important. And there's different ways that we can assess children, and I think this standard does a nice job. So if you guys want to take a look at that in my example, that would be good. And then I'm going to show you my assessment unit, which is here. And I have my final version of my test assessment, which looks like this. And then this is my rubric. And I changed it, and here's my first version, here's my second version, and here's my final version of my rubric. And I use smiley faces because my topic is mathematics for first graders, and I thought it would be appropriate to use smiley faces instead of using numbers because they can think about visually in their head what a score means. And here's my classroom resource page, and I've talked about how I went to Pedro Nogueira and learned about different ways that assessment is being used in the classroom, and then he discusses ways that he wants to influence students' behavior as well in the classroom. And here I talk about my patents conference that I went to with Dr. Stevie, and it was very informative, and I learned a lot of information. And I'll continue working on this portfolio as I go through Ball State. And I really enjoyed working with Dr. Stevie and also my classmates to learn more about portfolios. Thank you, and I hope everything's going well for you guys.